All right, so what are equality and diversity? Why are they so important to the university? And more importantly, why are they so important to you? Well, let's find out. If you're already asking yourself questions like these, then this section will provide you with the answers you're after. We'll explore what the terms equality of opportunity and diversity actually mean. You know, most academics have PhDs, but we don't know what these words mean. All right, we'll look to why we're so committed to making them happen, and we'll outline all the benefits that they can offer you. Whatever your role. All right, great. Equality under the magnifying glass. Let's start off by considering what equality of opportunity means. The first thing to say is that it's a very simple idea, but like many simple ideas, it's often not clearly understood. To explore this, we asked a number of different people what equality of opportunity meant to them. Select the photos shown here to find out how each person responded. Isn't this bizarre? This person thinks it's about treating black and minority ethnic groups the same as you would anyone else, isn't it? This is like a vaguely white guy in like a black leather jacket. All right. Then a woman in a suit says equality of opportunity. I'd say it's about making sure everyone gets treated fairly. All right. Then plain old vanilla white girl says, I've always thought it's about treating people in exactly the same way, even if they have different capabilities and needs. Then some Asian office bro says, isn't it mainly about making sure women get a fair deal at work? And then this other older woman says it's about favoring minority groups, like black and disabled people, to boost their numbers. All right, all these competing ideas of equality. I see how complicated it is and why I need this training to set me straight. 5 different people, 5 very different views of equality of opportunity. So which response do you think was closest to what it's really all about? Okay, so I'm being tested here. Well, different people could have reasonable differences in opinion as to which of these is actually the most correct view of equality or, equality of opportunity. But, these tests have right answers. So this is like a multiple choice question. It's not like asking me what I think. If I don't answer it correctly, it's not going to let me proceed, I believe. At least if I remember from when I did this last year. So, I guess it's going to be this one. Equality of opportunity is about making sure everyone gets treated fairly. But some of these other ones are synonymous with that. Like, isn't it mainly about making sure women get a fair deal at work? Well, it is somewhat about that, isn't it? That's consistent with this other one. But I guess the bad ones are the ones where like you're not like where you mention other specific disadvantaged groups. You're not. I guess it's supposed to have nothing to do with that, but only about making sure everyone gets treated fairly. So, all right, we'll go with that one. I was right. It's simply about treating everyone fairly. Nothing more, nothing less. There are 3 key points to keep in mind here. Equality doesn't just apply to minority groups, it applies to all of us. We all have a vested interest in being treated fairly, whether we're male or female, black or white, or anything else. Great. Secondly, equality doesn't mean treating people with different capabilities the same way. It just means that everyone has an equal right to be treated fairly, based on the relevant capabilities and needs they do have. All right. And it doesn't mean actively favoring minority groups, despite what you might read in the press. Equality is about treating everyone fairly, whether they're from a minority or a majority group. All right, so we could raise some interesting questions already, but if I do, this will take forever. So let's just proceed. All right, this is a nice brochure. What is equality of opportunity? We just went over this, didn't we? It's about creating a level playing field on which everyone is treated fairly, purely on the basis of their relevant abilities and needs. Think of it this way. If you were taking your driving test, all right, I fucking get it. You already explained it to me, and I passed the test question, for Christ's sake. Why do I need more of this kind of like child level explanation? All right, I'm skipping. Yeah, I get it. All right, here we get to the legislation. It's unlawful to treat anyone less favorably on the basis of a protected characteristic. All right. We'll be taking a closer look at equality legislation. Let's do it. Protected characteristics. You know, the dirty little secret of these diversity trainings is that they mostly have to do with liability for the university. I think that's pretty obvious. But what about diversity? Well, it's closely related to equality, but it's much broader. Now, keep in mind, they did just teach me that equality of opportunity has nothing to do with treating different groups differently. It's about treating everyone equally based on their relevant skills and capacities. All right. How relevant are equality and diversity? Hopefully you're up to speed with what they mean. Are they really relevant to anyone other than specific minority groups? Well, as you'll see in a moment, the answer depends on how you define the term minority group. Take a look at the areas of difference shown here and have a go at selecting one of the options in each area to create a profile. You might want to start by building a profile of yourself, but we'd recommend that you also take the time to build profiles of what you'd regard as minority or majority groups in the UK. Once you've built each profile, you'll be able to see how many people in the UK share the profile you've created. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Let's do it. I'll do myself. Male, married, yes, age, 30-39, disability, no, sexual orientation, heterosexual, religion or belief. I'm going to go with other here. So in the UK, people sharing my profile, 6,540. All right, out of 63 million. All right, let's try a new one. Let's say I am a female, unmarried, 40-year-old who is disabled and lesbian and Muslim. All right, there's literally 959. That's not bad, actually. I kind of thought there'd be less. Out of 63 million. Okay, great. This was a fascinating investigation into diversity. Thank you. All right, I think I'm done. No, come on. Let's how do I go back? Whatever. All right, just go through this again. 60 disabled. Maybe Christian. All right, plenty. There we go. All right. What do you think are some of the main benefits that equality and diversity can offer us as an organization? Have a think about this for a moment, then select each of the cards shown here to explore 3 of the main benefits. All right, is it asking me what I think the benefits are, or is it telling me what the benefits are? I guess I'm just supposed to... Talent is one benefit. Innovation is another benefit. Service is another benefit. Okay, cool. Thank you. Benefits to me. Merit. I can be expected to be treated fairly. Great. Barriers. You have the right to challenge and remove unfair barriers. Excellent. Very radical. Like it. You can expect to be valued and respected as an individual. Perfect. Potential. You have the right to contribute. Achieve your full potential. Support. Man, this is great. Equality and diversity. I never knew how fucking fantastic they were. All right. They're good news for everyone. Great. We introduced you to what equality and diversity are all about. We looked at why we're so committed to making them happen. Great. Thank you for the review. Now we go to the legislation. Let's see. As you saw in the previous section, okay, I get it. It's important. Oh my God, look at all these pages. 17 to go. All right, we're going to go rapid fire. Protected characteristics. Which of the following are protected characteristics? Christ. I guess probably all of them. Let's see. Yes. Disability. Mobility, hearing, speech, vision, and dexterity. Physical health conditions. Okay. Got it. Transgender people are now legally protected, and it's unlawful for anyone to be treated less favorably on grounds of their gender identity or presentation. Okay. The law protects married people from being treated less favorably on grounds of their marital status. Good to know. Women, race, religion. Right. Okay. Got it. Let's go. Do you see how long this is? What is less favorable treatment? Okay, so now you know the grounds on which it's unlawful to treat anyone less favorably, but what exactly is less favorable treatment? In legal terms, it takes 4 forms: direct discrimination, indirect discrimination, harassment, and victimization. All right. Provisions, rules, policies, and practices apply to everyone, but inadvertently and unnecessarily disadvantaged people. Detrimental treatment because a person has made a complaint or inquiry about an equality matter. Less favorable treatment because of one or more protected characteristics. Unwanted conduct that violates a person's dignity or creates an intimidating, hostile, degrading, or offensive environment. Okay. Select a term, then draw a connector to the correct definition. This is a fun game. It's probably direct discrimination. Do you see how kind of like childish this is? Come on. Provisions. That. Indirect. That. Harassment. Detrimental treatment because a person has made or intends. I think that's right. Yay. I'm not an idiot. Okay, good. Indirect discrimination, that's a tough one. All right. All right, don't you like how it gives me a test? I pass the test, and then it explains to me in more detail as if I don't already understand. This is what harassment looks like. All right, thank you. So if someone is taking a test, don't stand over their shoulder with like an emo haircut looking down at them. Got it. This is interesting. According to the Protection from Harassment Act of 1997, all forms of repeated harassment are unlawful, even if they're not related to a protected characteristic. Anything that can be reasonably seen as intimidating, offensive, hostile. Okay. This kid is like, God, Mom, why are you making me take this equality test? It's been unlawful for many years. Instruction. Okay, I have no idea how that picture represents this, but... Right. So, victimization has been unlawful for a while, but the introduction of the Equality Act greatly extends the scope of the legal protection offered. So I notice a trend here. Apparently many of these provisions have been expanding over the past few years. That's kind of interesting. It even extends to inquiries about pay. Bans pay secrecy clauses and makes it legitimate for employees to discuss pay with their colleagues, providing this is done with the purpose of establishing if discrimination is taking place. Okay, cool. The penalties. Dun dun dun. Stiff penalties. Bad publicity. Damaged reputation. No one can afford to ignore this. All right. Public sector equality duty. Okay. Mission and treatment of students with disabilities. Right, great. The law in practice. All right, case studies. Here we go. Do I have to do this? I guess so. Okay, fine. It's late in the evening at one of the university's halls of residence. Deepak's trying to revise, but has been disturbed by Terry and George, who've just got back for a night out. All right, this is going to be good. Like, this is stereotyping. Also, these are like children in university. Why are we being trained with children? All right, that was entertaining. From a legal perspective, do you think Terry and George have done anything wrong? Probably, or else he wouldn't be showing it to me. And yeah, that was like, they were being racist. Sure, it's bad. That is an example of racial harassment, I guess. I think. Right? Yes. Okay. I'm right. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see this one. Janet needs to recruit a new management accountant. It's a senior position with a lot of responsibility. She's called HR to discuss her requirements. We need someone who's CIMA qualified. That's CIMA. It's the Chartered Institute of Management Accounting qualification. Janet's listening. Yes, a strong academic background's important. But for a role like this, there's no substitute for experience. I don't think that's enough. We really need someone with a minimum of 10 years experience. Working as a management accountant. Janet listening. Yes, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's a vital role. We need someone who can hit the ground running. Janet listening. Okay, that's good. Once you put together the copy for the ad, can you email it through to me so that I can review? What? From a legal perspective, do you think Janet has done anything wrong? I guess not. Or I'm missing something. No, her requirements are quite reasonable given the nature of the job role. I think that's right. Oh, she's guilty of indirect discrimination on the grounds of age. Huh? I probably wasn't paying attention. I guess, did she make some comment about how you have to be like a certain age? Because surely you're allowed to require experience, right? Okay, whatever. And obviously in these tests, there's no room for like reasoned disagreement or debate. There's, okay, sorry, I get it. Oh, you're not allowed to ask for 10 years work experience on top of this. Huh. It effectively excludes anyone below the age of 35. That sounds a little dicey to me personally. I don't know if I agree with this. Because surely there are roles that literally require 10 years work experience. I don't think it's, I don't see what's so bad about that. Not to mention, in terms of age, aren't young people, young people generally have the advantage. Like a lot of positions, they won't hire you if you're too old. If anything, that seems to be the kind of disadvantaged side of things. So I don't know if I agree with this one, but I don't really have any power to debate in this form. Oh, wow. Expecting 10 years experience is also discriminating against women. Well, she should not have specified a certain amount of experience, but just define the actual skills required to carry out the job effectively. Okay. Let's see. Chris is a lecturer at the university and is just wrapping up a geology seminar with some of his first-year students. Select the play button to view the scene. All right. Oh, and don't forget your wellies for the field trip on Saturday. The forecast's awful. Chris, have you got 5 minutes? Yes, of course, Sue. What is it? Well, it's about the field trip. I'd really like to go. But Jenny was saying that if it's in the old sports minibus. That's right. Well, that's not really any good for me. I tried to get in there for a trip last term, but it just hasn't got any facilities for wheelchair users. Oh, sorry, Sue. I didn't realize. It's a bit of a dinosaur, but by the time I got around to booking, it was the only thing available. Well, it's a bit disappointing. I was looking forward to the trip. Look, Sue, don't worry. There'll be another trip later this term, and I'll make sure we get a hold of one of those new buses for that. Oh, this is bad. Not allowed to do that. It's going to pour down anyway, so I think we'll all end up wishing we were back here with you. Maybe. That's awkward. Okay, that's an obvious one. Notice how all of these questions are from a legal perspective. Like, these trainings don't give a shit about, like, ethics, you know, and kind of, like, good moral behavior. It's all just about, you know, does this break a law or not? And this, I suspect, does. I think it's an example of indirect discrimination. That's my guess. Oh, that's direct. Okay. Well, I thought indirect because he wasn't, like, purposely trying to exclude her for her disability. But, okay, it's direct. Changed my answer for me. Thank you. Okay. You should have offered a different form of transportation. All right. An indecent proposition. Uh-oh, this is about to get spicy. It's the start of another week for Oscar, Trish, Sandeep, and Abby. 4 friends who are studying at the university. Yeah, see, this is like literally made for university students. I'm slightly offended. I mean, is that a form of discrimination? I'll have to think about it. Let's do it. Come on, Abby. We're going to be late for economics. Okay, see you all later. Trish, if you're in this evening, can I come around to borrow your iron? Yeah, no probs. See you then. I'd better dash too. Got a middle English essay to hand in. I did that last week. It was a nightmare. Yeah, I still can't work out what half of the stuff means. It's more like French than English. More like Greek to me. Look, Trish, I was wondering. Have you tried the new curry house on Portland Street yet? Ah, no, don't think I have. Right, well, I went along there yesterday night, and it was excellent. I was just wondering if you fancied coming out for a meal with me. Maybe later this week? Oh, well, this week's looking pretty... Really? I hope this is not supposed to be an example of sexual harassment. Because that seemed like a pretty simple, polite attempt to ask a girl out on the date. So I hope that that's what it is. I think he's behaved in a perfectly acceptable way, right? Okay, good. Asking someone out on a date in a social situation is perfectly acceptable. He wasn't pushy. Good. I agree. Right. If she said no and then he pestered her, that could get harassment. That could become harassment. Fair enough. Good lesson. Although it wasn't really a good lesson how to ask someone out because it didn't really work. But maybe next time they could redo the video with a more kind of successful approach. All right, final one, a positive choice. Andy heads up a technical support department and has just finished conducting short interviews for a vacancy in the team. He's keen to get someone on board quickly and is running through the top candidates with Jim and Mark, who've been involved in the interviews. Select the play button to view the scene. All right, that narrows it down. David definitely knew his stuff on the technical side, but hasn't worked in a support role before. That's true. Tanya wasn't quite as clued up technically, but she's done the job before, and I'd say her interpersonal skills were a bit stronger. Okay. I'd agree. It's a close call. I think both of them would be really good. Well, there's only one position to fill. I wonder if we should go with Tanya then. I mean, we're always getting picked up for not having enough women in the department. This is interesting. That's a good point. What do you think, Jim? Sounds good to me. There's not much to choose between them, and taking on a woman would send out the right signals. Okay, I think that just about settles it then. Let's offer Tanya the job and hold fire on David until she's accepted all the terms. And All right, this is an interesting one. Have Andy and his colleagues done anything wrong from a legal perspective? It's a good question. I think I think you're not supposed to make decisions explicitly based on gender. But then again, you're supposed to seek diversity. So this one is a little confounding. Personally, I feel like what they did was not bad, necessarily. But I do feel like it's illegal. So I think for this, I'm going to say they're guilty of direct discrimination on the grounds of sex. Yeah, I'm right. So this is all very confounding, isn't it? Because it's about how equality and diversity are good, but you're legally not allowed to make decisions to promote diversity in some sense. Wait. I'm confused. Did it say? This says that they can take positive action under the Equality Act in the case where two or more candidates are of equal merit. They're allowed to favor candidates from underrepresented groups. I said that they're guilty of discrimination. Wait. But this is not a case of that. This is discrimination because they made a hurried decision on the basis of a short initial interview. What's more, it's clear that the candidates have different strengths and weaknesses, so it's unlikely they really are of equal merit for the role. All right, well, this is really confusing because I guess what they're supposed to have done is go to get more information to figure out who is truly better, even though the law says that you're allowed to take positive action to promote disadvantaged groups. Well, we're just going to leave that there. Taking positive action in recruitment decisions isn't a legal duty. It's a voluntary measure. We've chosen not to adopt it as it's difficult to determine when two or more candidates are truly of equal merit. All right. This is not really clarifying my sense of things, but probably making it more confused, to be honest. So basically this is saying you should keep drilling further down until you can find one that's objectively better. Even though you're allowed to promote a disadvantaged group if you want to. But if you do it too quickly, then it's discrimination. But what's too quickly? I don't know. All right. I think we're about done with this. Oh, God. That's only the section. So you've already seen comprehensive equality legislation has been put in place to help you. Yes, I have already seen it. Why it's important for you to challenge unacceptable behavior. Take action. If I see or am subject to any harassment or discrimination, I have a responsibility to take action. Great, another movie. It's lunchtime and Stuart, Peter, and Harry are having a chat over a coffee. Select the play button to view the scene. There you go, Pete. Cheers, Stu. Looks like you could use some caffeine. Down at the dogs again last night? I wish. Nah, I had to pick Ben and Melissa up from a party. Didn't get to bed until gone 2 this morning. Well, teenagers will be teenagers, eh? So, who's Melissa? Ben's girlfriend. Oh, he's got a girlfriend now, has he? Yeah, he's turned into a real ladies' man lately. Hair gel, aftershave. It's a lot. Spends half his life in the bathroom preening himself. You're just jealous. You're probably right. So has Ben brought Melissa home to meet you and Marge? Or is the whole parent thing a bit old hat now? No, Ben's a good lad. He brought her around for a meal a few weeks ago. Well, what's she like? Oh, nice enough. Very pretty. Ben's got a good eye. She's studying beauty or something like that at college. So she's a bit of your classic dumb blonde type. Okay, I see where this is going. Like a few of the women around here I could mention, if you know what I mean. Okay, that's very rude. Oh, right. This guy says. So what did you make of that? People sometimes claim that behavior like this is excusable. But the fact is, even low-level harassment can have a damaging impact. Don't you like how it asks like open-ended questions about what I think, and then it tells me what I think? That's why you should always challenge unacceptable behavior, whether it's aimed at you or someone else. All right. Yeah, that dude right there should have socked him in the face. All right. Step 1. Always challenge unacceptable behavior immediately. Speak calmly but firmly, and don't be tempted to smile or laugh. Then they won't take you seriously. Tell them exactly what you found unacceptable. Describe how it made you feel. Explain what you want them to do. If they try to laugh you off, tell them you're being serious. If the person starts to argue and the situation becomes confrontational, walk away. Okay, that will demonstrate how seriously you feel. Maybe. All right, let's revisit that case study. All right, this is where that guy's going to stand up and knock his lights out. I mean, walk away firmly. No, Ben's a good lad. All right, I get it. I remember all of this. Ugh. Do you see how long these things are? Look, Pete, saying things like that just isn't on. What do you mean? You know what I mean. Dumb blonde and stuff like that. He's angry. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. It's just, well, insulting. I'd appreciate it if you could cut it out, okay? Hey, hold on a minute. I was only joking. Well, I don't think it's a laughing matter. Oh, come on. Stu, you didn't think I was serious, did you? Well, to be honest, Pete, I don't like to hear that sort of talk either. Zooms in. Epic. I know you didn't mean any harm, but like Harry said, it's insulting. Oh, right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause offense. Zooms in. This is very dramatic. Well, that seems to have done the trick. It totally worked. Excellent. All right. Yay. Escalating the problem. If the guy doesn't listen. Yeah, I find it a little problematic, as they say, that all of these videos are promoting stereotypes. Like every person who's been cast for these videos meets like a, you know, a racial and gender stereotype. As you've just seen, speaking to the other person can often be an effective way of stopping. But what if that doesn't work? In the first instance, consider speaking to your line manager, who will be able to advise or refer to you as someone who can help, etc. Whatever you do, don't suffer in silence. If you feel that you or anyone else is being treated unfairly, we'll provide you with the support you need to resolve the matter satisfactorily. Summary. Okay. Yes, thank you. It was great. Oh. All right. In order to ensure we meet our legal obligations, we've developed the policies and guidelines shown here. All right, so it's asking me to read them carefully. Let's take a look. Okay, it wants me to read all of these. Of course, I'm going to read all of these in total detail. Well, actually, I've already read all of these in absolute detail this morning over my coffee, so I'm going to proceed. All right. Now all I need to do is test my knowledge. All right, let's see how I do. I think I've taken it pretty seriously. I've learned a lot. I need to score at least 80 to pass the test. It's a pretty high mark for passing. then I got a certificate. If I don't pass, I can just restudy and then retake the test. I can do it as many times as I like. Good for me. What is diversity? Respecting and valuing all forms of difference in individuals and positively striving to meet the needs of different people. Oh man, this kind of looks right. This kind of looks right. I think this one is wrong because they're like they're trying to say that it's not about positively pushing for minority groups, but just mainstreaming equality and protecting the rights of minority groups. I think it's that one. I mean, I got it wrong. What are some of the main benefits that embracing equality and diversity can offer us as an organization? It helps us to be more creative. Absolutely. It helps streamline the recruitment selection process. No. I mean, in that one case study, the guys were faulted for not taking long enough to look into it. So this isn't about streamlining. Enables us to provide a better service to people we deal with. I think so. And enables us to attract and retain the best staff. I think so. All right. Oh, I got the first one wrong. See, that was really confusing, that first one. They sent mixed signals on whether positive action should be taken. Rajiv is a senior lecturer at the university. Tina, one of his most experienced lecturers, has been on maternity leave for the past 2 months and has recently informed him that she no longer intends to return to her job. Okay, if he's a senior lecturer, why is Tina being referred to as his most experienced lecturer? As if she like works underneath him or he owns her or something? That seems to be that seems to be sexist. Okay. Rajiv is now looking for someone to replace Tina. He's interviewed several promising candidates. Impressed by Allison, a young woman who seems to have all the right skills. However, during the course of her second interview, Allison informs Rajiv that she's about to get married. Okay. Rajiv is concerned that Allison is planning to start a family, which might mean he'll have to look for a replacement. He therefore decides to offer the job to the best male candidate. That's a no-no. From a legal perspective, what is this an example of? I think that is direct. Okay, got it, right. Good. What are the correct definitions of each of the following terms? I did this already, and I got it right. Direct. Direct is one. This is kind of a fun game. I like the visual here. Got it. Devinder is producing a job advertisement for a new vacancy. The role won't involve much travel, but she includes a requirement for a full, clean driving license, as she does on most job ads, because she thinks it's always a useful extra. I guess that's not allowed because some people don't have driving licenses or can't drive, maybe, and it's not necessary. It's an example of, I guess, indirect discrimination because it excludes anyone who happens to have points on their license. Well, isn't this one right and also this one is right? I guess it's that one. Yeah. I think that one looked right anyway, too. Whatever. 6 of 7. I think I've already crossed the 80% threshold. Jane started working at the university 2 years ago. 6 months ago, she provided evidence to support a colleague. As a result, a manager was dismissed for not having taken any action. Prior to this, was highly regarded. Now she no longer seems to receive any positive feedback and has to be given all the mundane and routine work. From a legal perspective, that is victimization. 7 of 7. If you feel that someone is behaving inappropriately at work, what's the first thing you should consider doing? Make a formal complaint. Take steps to avoid the person. Raising the matter with your manager. So personally, I feel like the answer is speak to the person to explain how you feel. But then again, I've heard from people that, like, you know, a common idea is that the victim of something should not have to deal with confronting the person who victimized them. So in many kind of progressive circles, this is not the right answer. But I think from what they were saying before, that this is the first step, according to this test. So I'm going to go with that. Yes, I'm right. Well done. I passed the test with a 91%. Where's my certificate? Recommend for restudy? Sorry, I will not recommend this. Yes, print your course completion certificate. Look at that, baby. I'm certified. Justin Murphy successfully completed the equality and diversity briefing. 91%. Hell yeah. Thank you. I'm going to print that, put it on my door. All right. It only took about 50 minutes. Excellent. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. This is the kind of thing we have to do.